So the Fuji assassins have ascended upon us, and they sent their leader to kill me with the X-T4, but earlier there was a minor attack. Just like a plate of bananas was left near my desk with this X-T200 release, a vlogger's paradise camera. Fuji is trying to end my shit, and I'm not having it. I'm on the quest for a perfect camera. It's the journey that is the destination, and I don't want the actual perfect camera, or I have nothing to talk about. How dare you? Calm down. There'll be plenty to talk about once the perfect camera's here. I can talk about other stuff. Chess. I've never won a game personally, but I do have a lot of tutorials in mind that could help you. So let's take a look at this X-T200 release. Did it blip my perfect camera radar? Or is it just another showpiece for your mantle?
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
So here's what you have to be warned about with Fuji. On the outside, they produce what seems like the perfect camera, but on the insides, they don't even have elven dwarves lifting gold to the sensor to reflect light inward. When the X-T100 first came out on paper, it looked like the vlogger's paradise camera that we've been waiting for on a boat. But performance-wise in the real world, it was crushed by the lowly M50, the Canon loser cam. If that crushes you, you couldn't hold up a piece of paper to show to the officer who's about to arrest your ass for being weak. What the hell was that? The T100 had some of the worst image quality I've ever seen. Like, for some reason, the Fuji X-T3 has the best 1080p on the market. I don't know why. I don't know what they care for some reason. They do great 4K, but also great 1080p. So does Panasonic. Canon, the USR is alright, but their M50 just looks cheap to me. I see cheapness. And this T100 was like the ugliest thing I've ever seen, like line skipping, pixel binned, and cropped without I'm making up words. So will this T200 have the same terrible sensor? Did Fuji have a meeting about it? That I'd like to hear. All right, fellas, they noticed. They noticed the X-T100 had the same sensor as the X-T0. That's unfortunate. We thought we could slip it in there. They notice everything. We might have to put one of our newest sensors in this one. Oh, come on, boss. It was so fun to cripple the camera. Canon has their hammer. What do we have? The Fuji assassins? They're not so... What was that, a dart? What the hell happened? How'd he get in? Oh boy. I hope I'm not next. Anyways, anybody else at this meeting? Do you have any ideas for our next camera? Lewis? We could just put the X-T3 sensor in there and call it a day. Just give it a flippy screen, digital stabilization. We got a vlogger's camera here. I want to cripple it somehow though. Can we put the 2.5mm mic jack in there? Boss, it's an old joke. It's not even funny anymore. Babies are crying over that one. Just let's put in the 3.5. Then we can use the regular mics. Our partnership with Rode, pending. You know what I mean? I hate Rode. A bunch of Australian pricks, mate. Australia's on fire, sir. Have some respect. Have some respect. So going by this press release, they have a 24 megapixel sensor. Fuji X-T3 had a 26er. So this is downgraded. We already know that. It's already dead on arrival. I just debunked it. It's gonna have the same image quality as an elephant if he built a camera out of mud and tunnel wood. They did away with the Fuji triangular dials. The lens had the aperture, shutter mode. I hate them anyway. I'm glad they did it. Thank you, Fuji. It seems to have a new processor, which a lot of cameras nowadays are just updating their processor and calling it a new camera. That EM1 III is gonna be the same sensor. A whole video coming on that one. I don't even want to anger myself. On paper though, on the outer shell of this Fuji device, we have a little camera, flippy screen, digital stabilization with this new gyroscope. They got a freaking gyroscope in there, able to tell which direction it is at all times. It's just like, you move left, I move right. You move up, I move down. If I've learned anything from the GoPro of life, is that stabilization of the digital variety is top notch. Top notch. Although I don't think it's going to be the same, because this is shutter speed based priority stabilization. You need a super fast shutter speed. If you lower it on a professional camera like this, rule of shutters, the angles of shutter rule, it might not work. The thing that scares me is that this is an old sensor and the image is not gonna look even as good as the X-T3, which it should, even if this is an entry cam. Give us a break. Give us something to dream about. I want image quality now. I prioritize dynamic range. What happens if we, oh boy. Are we clipping? We're not even clipping. Maybe that one line, this one line. Dynamic range is your friend. Let it into your heart. I noticed, and it hurt, that the X-T3 had better dynamic range than the GH5S, although I didn't test the log profiles, but you never know. I heard a rumor. Someone said this doesn't have Eterna profile. That is a Fuji assassin move with a poisonous dart. You dipped it in one of those frogs, and then you shot it hard. You blew at it. But if with this new processor, the image actually looks good, which I doubt it. I don't have high hopes for this machine, but it could be doable for vlogging, although it's hard to beat the little guy now. How do you beat a GoPro with anything? Sometimes you want a little nicer look, but pretty much this is the guy to beat. I can't picture carrying this heavy device anymore. This fits in my pocket. Right in my pocket. I barely feel it. I feel it hard, but it doesn't feel like bad things. The problem with Fuji is what lens are you going to use? To vlog? That 10-24, I'm not too happy with it. I don't know how the stabilization with the gyroscope, maybe it corrects it, but the XH1 and the 10-24 was unusable. Absolutely unusable. And with no stabilization, it was also unusable. So maybe the gyro saves us. It's not the first time I've been saved by a gyro. You know what I mean? I've never tried their stupid kit lens, the worst one, the 15 to whatever. It's a little wider, but a little less blurry of the background variety. I don't know if it's good enough, but it is lighter. Maybe. I'd have to test it. If it looks good, if it looks better than the GoPro, you got my eyes and my heart, Fuji. Potentially. And the X-T4, who knows what that's gonna bring. That's the one. That's the one that's trying to assassinate my ass. So, what do you think? Is this a vlogger's camera for people like me? Do you think it's good? I think it's gonna be an X-T100 slightly improved, but image quality similar and then therefore not good enough. So thank you for showing your support by buying a Camera Conspiracies t-shirt or Canon Cripplehammer shirt. And subscribe for more videos and I'll see you later.